There's a feeling around NASCAR right now that's impossible to ignore. You know those moments in a season when it suddenly feels like the entire championship picture is starting to shift? When every race weekend brings a little more tension, a little more speculation, and a lot more questions than answers. That's exactly where we are right now. Over the last few weeks, something has happened that has completely changed the conversation across the garage. Fans are talking about it. Drivers are talking about it. Team executives are talking about it. And from the outside looking in, it feels like the pressure is only getting bigger with every passing race. What makes this situation so fascinating is that it's not just about who's winning races. It's about what those wins might mean for the championship fight, for the playoff picture, and for the balance of power inside the sport as we head toward the most important stretch of the season. And when rivals start paying this much attention to one group of teams, you know something significant is happening behind the scenes. The questions are getting louder. The spotlight is getting brighter. And whether people want to admit it or not, the entire NASCAR garage is watching very closely right now. Before we dive into all of it, if you're enjoying the conversation and you love talking NASCAR every day with fellow fans, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to NASCAR Nation Report. We're still a new channel. We're chasing that goal of 15,000 subscribers, and it would be awesome to have you here as part of this community from the very beginning. Now, let's get into what's really fueling all this conversation. The center of attention, of course, is Denny Hamlin. What we're watching right now is something truly remarkable, even by the standards of a future Hall of Famer. Hamlin has just accomplished something he had never done before in his entire 21-year full-time NASCAR Cup Series career. He has won 3 races in a row. It started with a victory at Nashville Superspeedway. Then came another win at Michigan International Speedway. And most recently, he went to Pocono Raceway and did what he seems to do better than anyone else in NASCAR history: win. That Pocono victory wasn't just another trophy. It was Hamlin's record 8th Cup Series win at the Tricky Triangle, and it pushed him to 64 career Cup Series victories, moving him into 9th place on NASCAR's all-time wins list. That's elite company. And when a driver starts putting together a run like this right before the playoffs, the entire garage takes notice. But here's where this story gets even more interesting. According to multiple reports circulating throughout the industry, some drivers and team officials have reportedly been encouraging NASCAR to take a closer look at the cars coming from Joe Gibbs Racing and to 3She Racing. Among the names reportedly pushing for additional scrutiny are former Cup Series champions Joey Logano and Brad Keselowski. Now let me be crystal clear here, because this is incredibly important. There is no investigation. There are no penalties. There is no evidence of wrongdoing. Neither Joey Logano nor Brad Keselowski has publicly accused Joe Gibbs Racing or 3She Racing of breaking NASCAR rules. That's not what's happening. What is happening is something we've seen throughout NASCAR history whenever one manufacturer or one group of teams starts dominating. People start asking questions. They start looking for answers. They start wondering how one organization can consistently be that fast week after week. And right now, Toyota teams are giving everybody plenty to think about. Through the first 16 races of the 2026 Cup Series season, Toyota organizations have won 10 races. Think about that for a second. 10 of the first 16. That's an incredible level of dominance in modern NASCAR. Joe Gibbs Racing alone has accounted for 5 of those victories. Tyler Reddick came out of the gates on fire, winning 4 of the first 6 races of the season and establishing himself as an early championship favorite. Now, Denny Hamlin has caught fire at exactly the right time. Suddenly, what once looked like a comfortable championship lead for Reddick has become a real battle. After Pocono, Hamlin sits only 19 points behind Reddick in the standings. 19 points? With only 10 races remaining before the playoff field is finalized, that's practically nothing. One bad race, one pit road mistake, one mechanical issue, one stage point swing. That's all it takes to completely change the championship picture. And because of that, the spotlight on Toyota's performance has intensified. A major focus of the discussion reportedly centers around the relationship between Joe Gibbs Racing and 3She Racing. For fans who may not know, Hamlin isn't just driving the No. 11 Toyota 4 Joe Gibbs Racing. He's also a co-owner of 3She Racing alongside NBA legend Michael Jordan. The two organizations have maintained a long-standing technical alliance, which is completely legal and extremely common throughout NASCAR. Teams share information, they work together, they collaborate within NASCAR's regulations. That's nothing unusual. What's unusual is the level of success they're having right now. When one alliance starts stacking wins, contending for championships, and consistently outrunning much of the field, competitors naturally begin paying closer attention. Sources familiar with discussions inside the garage indicate that some rivals would like NASCAR to conduct more extensive post-race inspections and reviews moving forward. Not because violations have been found, not because evidence exists, but because competitors want every possible doubt removed as the playoffs approach. And honestly, if you've watched NASCAR long enough, this isn't surprising. Whenever someone dominates, people start looking. We saw it with Hendrick Motorsports during dominant stretches. We've seen it with Team Penske. We've seen it throughout different eras of NASCAR. Success always attracts attention, a lot of attention. For now, NASCAR's position remains unchanged. Hamlin's no. 11 Toyota successfully passed post-race inspection following the Pocono victory. The win is official. NASCAR has announced no violations involving Joe Gibbs Racing. NASCAR has announced no violations involving 2-3 She Racing. And NASCAR continues to maintain that every organization is subject to the same inspection procedures. Hamlin himself wasn't interested in entertaining the speculation after the race. Instead, he pointed directly to the work being done by his team. As Hamlin explained, they arrive at the racetrack every week believing they have a legitimate chance to win because the team is consistently giving him exactly what he needs behind the wheel. And honestly, when you watch the speed they've had recently, it's hard to argue with that confidence. The execution has been outstanding. The setups have been strong. The pit crews have performed. The strategy has worked. And Hamlin has driven like a man, fully capable of winning a championship. That's what makes this story so fascinating heading into the playoff push. On one side, you have a veteran superstar in Denny Hamlin putting together one of the best stretches of his entire career. On the other side, you have rivals watching closely and asking NASCAR to make absolutely sure everything is above board. Right now, there is no scandal, there is no penalty, there is no investigation, but there is definitely attention. A lot of it. And every victory only seems to increase the conversation. What this situation really tells me is just how high the stakes have become. The championship battle between Tyler Reddick and Denny Hamlin is heating up at exactly the right moment. Toyota teams continue to set the standard. Joe Gibbs Racing remains one of the strongest organizations in the garage. And 2-3 She Racing continues, proving that it belongs among NASCAR's elite teams. As fans, we're heading into a stretch of the season where every point matters. Every race matters, and every storyline feels bigger than it did a month ago. Some fans will see the garage chatter as nothing more than jealousy toward successful teams. Others will argue that increased scrutiny is simply part of the sport whenever a team becomes dominant. Either way, one thing is undeniable. The spotlight surrounding Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, Joe Gibbs Racing, and 2-3 She Racing has never been brighter. And if Hamlin keeps winning, you can bet these conversations aren't going away anytime soon. It's going to be fascinating to see how this all unfolds over the final 10 races before the playoffs. Can Hamlin complete the comeback and catch Tyler Reddick? Can Toyota continue its incredible run of success? Will NASCAR increase inspections simply to silence the questions being asked around the garage? Those are the questions everyone will be watching over the coming weeks. And honestly, that's part of what makes this sport so incredible. Every race creates a new chapter. Every week brings new drama. And right now, it feels like we're building towards something huge. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think rivals are simply reacting to Toyota's dominance? Or do you believe NASCAR should take an even closer look at Joe Gibbs Racing and to 3XI Racing as the playoffs approach? I genuinely want to hear what you think. And if you love daily NASCAR discussions, honest fan perspectives, and keeping up with everything happening across the garage, make sure to subscribe to NASCAR Nation Report. We're still a new channel. We're working toward 15,000 subscribers. And we'd love to have you join this growing NASCAR community from the beginning. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.